So there's some serious chatter that Elon Musk might actually buy MSNBC. He was flirting with the idea on Twitter. And remember, when he purchased Twitter, that's how it started. It started with him flirting with the idea on Twitter. And so this is definitely something to take seriously, but let's get into some specifics here. Elon Musk floats buying MSNBC, but he's not the only billionaire who may be interested. Elon Musk has called MSNBC the utter scum of the earth. He has said the channel peddles puerile propaganda. Right, as opposed to him, who certainly doesn't peddle puerile propaganda. And Fox News, which of course doesn't do propaganda either. These are angelic outlets that always tell the truth. But no, it's MSNBC's the problem. Just a few days ago, he said, quote, MSNBC is going down. And now he is posting memes about buying the channel. Conventional wisdom holds that Musk, the world's richest man and key Trump ally, and his friends are just joking. But Musk's posts are adding to the anxiety that MSNBC staffers are feeling about the re-election of Trump and the recently announced spin-off of Comcast cable channels. So yeah, guys, they are MSNBC, as we understand it, is done. It's over. They're becoming a spin-off channel, so they're kind of on their own. They're not under that umbrella of NBC anymore. That's kind of a big deal. I spent Sunday on the phone with sources to gauge what might be going on. I learned that more than one benevolent billionaire with liberal bona fides has already reached out to acquaintances at MSNBC to express interest in buying the cable channel. The inbound interest was reassuring, one of the sources said, since it showed that oppositional figures like Musk, who famously bought Twitter to blow it up, would not be the only potential suitors. But contrary to claims that Trump's allies are posting on X, Comcast has not put a for sale sign on MSNBC's door. Yeah, but they are spinning it off, which is sort of a defeat in and of itself, because it's not going to be the same as it was, right? There are changes coming. If Comcast chief Brian Roberts really wanted to sell the liberal cable news channel, he could have done that already. Instead, he is moving MSNBC and half a dozen other cable channels to SpinCo, a pure-play cable programming company. The hope is that spinning off the pressured but profitable channels will boost shares of both Comcast and SpinCo. Comcast says the transaction will take about a year. At that point, could someone swoop in with a bid for MSNBC? It's complicated. SpinCo is structured as a tax-free spinoff, and immediately divesting an asset would have tax implications that could forestall any such sale. Quote, typically we would expect a 2-year waiting period before any potential further strategic action by the SpinCo to preserve the tax-free nature of the spin, although we believe there are scenarios where industry consolidation, including SpinCo, could happen earlier. Analyst Benjamin Swinburne of Morgan Stanley wrote in a note to investors last week. Plus, SpinCo executives may well conclude that offloading MSNBC is not in the best interest of shareholders, since the channel's loyal audience is a form of leverage in negotiations with cable distributors. Executives involved with the spinoff say they intend to be predators, not prey, buying new channels, selling off old ones bit by bit. Selling MSNBC to win favor with the president-elect is simply not the plan. I have sensed quite a bit of enthusiasm at MSNBC about SpinCo, actually, because the new structure should allow for more investment into MSNBC, CNBC, and other brands. That is cope. That's cope. It's just cope. You wouldn't be spinning them off if everything was all hunky-dory, right? Like, there are problems. That's why they're spinning them off. The audience has cratered nearly 50%, bro. 50%. Which is crazy, because you would think in the wake of a Trump victory, it would be like 2016, where numbers went up. They did not go up, right? And look, I think one of the reasons is, I think Crystal made this point the other day, and it's totally true, is that in the MSNBC framework, they actually don't have answers as to how Trump could have won, right? There is no broad ideological project outside of just anti-Trumpism. And so people are sort of like, okay, well, fuck off. You guys were wrong, and it didn't work, and now we're not interested, right? And so at the same time you see those sorts of outlets crumbling, you actually see online liberal and left media getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I can't tell you how many MSNBC refugees are now part of this audience, right? Because we have something to say in reaction to a Trump victory, and we have plans moving forward as to how to deal with that. All right, let's continue. Musk's allies pile on. That said, Musk's posts shouldn't be ignored. He famously foreshadowed his pursuit of Twitter with a tweet that asked, how much is it? On Friday, he similarly asked of MSNBC, how much does it cost? He was responding to Trump Jr., who posted a meme that falsely said MSNBC is for sale and wrote, hey, Elon Musk, I have the funniest idea ever. Rogan jumped in and said, if you buy MSNBC, I would like Rachel Maddow's job. He misspelled her name? Seriously? I will wear the same outfit and glasses, and I will tell the same lies. Because, you know, Rogan on his own podcast, he always gets the truth out there, right? Jesus is so insufferable now. He's just a Republican now. Like, you're just a Republican, Joe. There's nothing special or interesting or unique or different. You're just a Republican. Okay. The trio's fans ate it up, and Musk kept posting about the idea all weekend long, at one point promoting a homophobic meme that equated Rachel Maddow with Mark Cuban. I don't know if I go as far as say that's homophobic. Anyway, but let's continue. By Sunday, Trump Jr. wrote, "I think I started something here. The amount of people that want this to happen is incredible." Former Florida Representative Matt Gaetz replied, "I 100% want this to happen. The mockery is the point, and maybe it's nothing more than that." While Musk and his friends trade memes and crack each other up, there's a serious undercurrent here. It's known as media capture. This happened in Hungary when far-right Prime Minister Viktor Orban's close allies also purchased private television and radio outlets to convert them into pro-government outlets. Media capture is a subset of what Protect Democracy Executive Director Ian Bassin calls autocratic capture, where the government uses its power to enforce loyalty from the private sector. On a recent episode of Vanity Fair's Inside the Hive, Bassin said, "I think we are in danger of seeing that happen across the American marketplace in all sorts of sectors." Gabor Schering, a former member of the Hungarian parliament, wrote in a new essay for Politico magazine that Orban consolidated media control through centralized propaganda, marketing pressure, and loyal billionaires. In the US, he wrote, "Liberal-minded billionaires should not sit idly by, as they did in Hungary, watching the right take over the media." So then they bring up, hey, would Cuban be interested in getting involved here? Here's the bottom line. If this happens, if it goes through that Elon Musk or somebody similar ideologically to him, some right-wing asshole, buys MSNBC, it would be all of TV news, cable news, all of it would either be outright Republican/Trump propaganda, like Fox News, like Newsmax, like One American News Network, or it would be mealy-mouthed, both sides bullshit. False equivalence networks like CNN. That's what you'd have. Not only would you not have a leftist voice, you wouldn't even have a liberal voice. You wouldn't have a liberal voice. That would be devastating. Now, at the same time, I think it'd be good for outlets like ours online, where more people come in, but I still think the overall impact on the body politic would probably be negative. And so, look, a part of the problem here is even if a liberal billionaire gets involved and were to eventually buy MSNBC, the liberals have a bit of an issue, right? Because it's like, okay, sure, you can put a network up there that just cheerleads the Democratic Party. That's not enough. I mean, that's what MSNBC was. It wasn't enough, right? On the right, with Fox News, they have a truly ideological project. It is truly ideological. They have their things that they fight for. They shit on trans people. They shit on immigrants all the time. It's completely backing Trumpism. It's all about tax cuts, right? Like, this is what it is. Projecting American power overseas. Like, they have their thing. If on the MSNBC side, it's just really like rah-rah Democrats and boo Republicans, we need an ideological project on the left. We need like an actual politics around division. We need a politics with a core to it. And liberal billionaires, I'm sorry, I don't think they wouldn't fund leftists. And the reason is leftists actually want to tax billionaires more. We want to tax billionaires more. We want to reduce income and wealth inequality. We want universal health care for everybody. We want to get private money out of the political system and do clean elections so that we actually have elections around ideas and not varying corrupt factions. This is the problem, right? Even if you advocate for just social democracy, that takes a lot of power away from the plutocrats, the oligarchs, the billionaires, even the liberal ones. And so that's why it's like they always have to stop at just the Democratic Party or liberalism. And they will not go beyond that to create a leftist channel. But that's the problem, right? Because an actual leftist channel, that would get the eyeballs. That would get interest. That would be able to mirror the success of Fox News on the left. But they can't do that because it threatens capital. It threatens power. And no billionaire is going to want to threaten capital and threaten power. That's the problem. There's a permanent imbalance. So, but I'm telling you, having said all that, it will be objectively worse to have MSNBC get bought by Elon Musk or other right-wing billionaires, because then you don't even have like a Democratic voice or a liberal voice, never mind a leftist voice, among the TV networks. And I honestly, I don't buy the notion that like, well, TV is going to be completely irrelevant anyway very shortly. That's not true. A lot of older people, it's all older people who watch TV, and older people vote across the board. They don't, younger people are more likely to pick and choose when to do it. And so the narratives that come out of mainstream media have a tremendous amount of sway. And so we would really be in the darkness, in the wilderness for quite a while in a scenario like this. So look, I just hope that doesn't happen. But having said that, even just the fact that this is now going to be a spinoff, MSNBC, it already sort of means like we're getting to the point where it's either both sides bullshit and pro-Republican, pro-Trump stuff. So the damage is probably already done. It would just be worse if Elon Musk gets involved. So just be prepared, guys, and spread the word that there is a safe haven out there somewhere. It's online. It's right here. There's others in this space who do stuff very, very similar to me. Spread the word, because clearly there's going to be no mainstream resistance. There's going to be no mainstream truth-telling. It's going to be wall-to-wall, insane, right-wing, autocratic bullshit brought to you by Trump and people like Elon Musk. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.